today, one of the important topics regarding inter-country adoption is, on the one side, how to prevent and how to address illicit practices of the past, and then what we have just spoken about, post-adoption support, including access to origins. Regarding all the issues that have to deal with illicit practices, we have to recall that the 93 Hague Convention has as one of its aims to try to prevent those abuses. This is done in an indirect way, because if you respect all the safeguards, procedures, and guarantees of the Convention, there should be much more chances that everything is done correctly. If this is regrettably not the case, then we have to see how to address. For this, the HCCH and its secretariat, together with a working group, we are working on the development of a toolkit in order to help states to give guidelines again on what to do. And this toolkit, the first thing that it wants to do is how to identify an illicit practices, because sometimes there is borderline or is it not clear. So we have to see if there are also, in many cases, many enabling factors, things that are not per se illicit, but that can really bring the case to an illicit situation. Therefore, the first thing is to try to identify. Then, once we have identified the illicit practice, then of course we have to see which measures we can have there in order to prevent that they reoccur. But if they did occur, then we have to see how to address that illicit practice. And in the toolkit, we have what we have called a kind of model procedure that is going to try to help states on what to deal when this situation happens. The first thing is how you disclose and how you record suspected cases. How is this done? Who has the responsibility? At which document you have to look? Then, of course, you will need to do an investigation of what is the situation. So, who has to do the investigation? What are the documents? How is this going to organize? And then, once it is clear that there has been an illicit practices, there may be possible actions following this investigation. And then, of course, this will depend at which stage of the adoption procedure we are. So if the adoption procedure hasn't been finalized, then the first thing will be to stop that adoption procedure, to see what's happening before trying to get some measures and decide what to do. If the adoption procedure has finalized, then we will have to see what is the age of the person, what was the situation, and then see what are the different possibilities that are there. It is very important to try to give a remedy, to see what's best for that person, how you can help that person. Of course, that in addition, the person may have recourse to civil suits, so criminal prosecutions in its state, and if all this doesn't work or doesn't provide the different solution, then there is always the possibility to go at international level, in front of international courts and other bodies. But this will depend on each of the case and how the situation is being done. It's also important that during the procedure, when all this is being done regarding illicit practices, that we give support to the persons, especially if they are children. So what to do, how to help them, and the whole families, everybody involved. They will need counseling, information, sometimes mediation, legal assistance, other type of assistance. So there's many things that need to be done there to help those persons to cope with these difficult situations. And that's the idea of this toolkit, is of course to give some guidance to states on how to do, how to address. It's not that it is going to solve all the cases, but at least it can give some idea of what to do next. It's a toolkit that is non-binding, but it really gives this support to state, specifically because it's being drafted with a working group comprised by experts from different central authorities with a really practical experience, and as well with some observers that also come and take into consideration their practice, their view, that may be different, of course, of the one from governments.